Hi, I'm David Durfee. I'm a student athletic trainer at Eastern Arizona College. I've been asked to make a video regarding sports concussions. The scope of the video will include explaining what a concussion is, list common signs and symptoms of a concussion, provide information about what to do if someone you know experiences these signs and symptoms, describe a treatment strategy for managing a concussion, explain the return to sport process, and explain the potential hazards of playing with a concussion. Finally, the video will provide strategies to prevent a concussion. A concussion is an injury to the brain caused by a forceful movement of the brain against the skull. It usually occurs with a bump or a blow to the head, but it can also occur when the upper body is shaken violently. Signs and symptoms of a concussion include a headache, loss of consciousness, fatigue, confusion, an appearance of being dazed or stunned, dizziness, clumsiness, nausea and vomiting, ringing in the ears, slurred speech, delayed response to questions, blurred vision or double vision, sensitivity to light or noise, and personality changes. It's also important to know that these changes can be immediate or can have a delayed onset of up to several days. If someone you know is experiencing these signs or symptoms of concussion, it is important that they be evaluated by a physician as soon as possible, as a concussion can be accompanied by other life-threatening conditions such as neck injuries and brain bleeds. It's important to avoid ibuprofen and other non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, but Tylenol should be okay. After being cleared by a physician, a treatment plan for a person with a concussion might include physical and mental rest, including limiting but not eliminating screen time. They might need 24 to 48 hours of return to school accommodations, including no PE and extended time to take tests and other assignments. As early as 24 hours after the concussion, the athlete can begin light physical exercise, even if the athlete continues with some signs and symptoms of a concussion. To return to the sport, the athlete follows a process called graduated return to play, which starts with walking and light aerobic exercise to increase the heart rate. These exercises might actually be beneficial in the recovery of a concussion. If the athlete goes 24 hours without any signs and symptoms of a concussion, they can then begin sport-specific exercises away from players. If they can do this for 24 hours without signs or symptoms of a concussion, then they can participate in non-contact practice. If they can do this for 24 hours without signs or symptoms of a concussion, they can begin full contact practice. If they can continue with that, again, for 24 hours without any signs or symptoms of concussion, they can then return to their sport. The return to play process should last no less than 7 to 10 days. And it's important to know that an athlete needs to be cleared by a physician, a physician's assistant, a nurse practitioner, or an athletic trainer prior to returning to the sport because of a condition called second impact syndrome. Second impact syndrome is a very serious condition in which an athlete sustains another brain injury prior to the healing of the previous brain injury. Second impact syndrome can result in respiratory failure, coma, and death. While I think it's probably impossible to eliminate all sport-related concussions, there are things that have been and can be done to help reduce the number of them. First of all, there have been laws that have been passed in an attempt to reduce the number of sport-related concussions. Two, there have been improvements and there are ongoing improvements in sports-related equipment in an attempt to reduce their number. Team protocols have been put into place, and education has been initiated to educate not only the athletic trainers, but also the coaches, athletes, parents, and emergency personnel on the signs and symptoms and treatment of sport-related concussions. In my opinion, the education should include the severity of a concussion. Again, the signs and symptoms of a concussion, how to report the signs and symptoms to someone if you see them in a fellow teammate. We can eliminate the slang that is used around sport-related concussions, such as "I got my bell rung," and replace it with "I had a brain injury." We can teach proper sport technique, and also the sport medicine team members can also practice their team's emergency response plan. These are all things that can be done to hopefully reduce the risk of contracting, and then in the long run minimizing the effect of a sport-related concussion. Thank you for watching my video. It is my hope that it will do just what I said, hopefully reduce the risk of someone contracting a concussion, or at least help to reduce the effects of one.